Okay, well, good evening. And we suspect that you did not, a lot of a lot of you did not receive the email that went out tonight because the platform that we use was down for maintenance over the weekend. It looked like everything was doing well. It showed as sent, but it shows unavailable in terms of the people being able to view it, which is unusual. So I suspect that something went awry. But nonetheless, we are here. Sylvia and Marie are here. And so we are going to carry on, and then we'll make sure that the video, the recording gets sent out to everyone tomorrow afternoon sometime or early Thursday morning. So anyway, welcome to our CMB and Floyd Roberts Influencers. We are glad that you're here. March is many things, but the thing that we are celebrating this month is Women's History Month. And we're excited to be able to introduce a program for you, our consultants, because we want to know your history. And so what we are doing is encouraging you to celebrate the women in your circle, no matter who it is. Sylvia, your daughter is doing some great things I saw in a post, so you should be celebrating certainly her throughout the whole month, as well as other women in your circle, whether they are, and they don't even have to be in your circle, but you can make sure that you are communicating with them to celebrate women this month. So we are day 2, so we need to catch up and make sure that every day we are sending something out to our audience, whether it be a message from us to just tell your audience how much you appreciate them and celebrate them for the female journey that they are on. And so this is yet just another way for us to be able to connect with our audience and to make sure that we are helping them engage. So women history. I mean, so think about all the things that women have contributed to the nation and to our world. And I think we've got 30 days worth of stories that we can tell. So one of the things that we want to do is to tell your story. We want to know your story. So how did you start? What caused you to get started in the beauty and the skincare business, the image and color business, and share when you started, and then the journey that you're on. What are you doing and where are you headed with your business? So we're encouraging everybody that wants to take the time to be able to do this by Friday. Just shoot an email to consultant info saying I want to share my story, and then what we'll do when we get it, we'll schedule a time to do a recording with you so that you can share your story, and it'll be recorded, and we'll post it up on Inside. We're going to send it out in videos. We'll post it up on social media so that other women can hear your story, her story, instead of history with his, her story. So anyway, and we believe that the video that we'll end up doing for those that send in their story will be a great tool for you to share with your circle of friends, because I think a lot of people would be interested to know why you're doing what you do. So anyway, I encourage those of you that are on, and we may have to extend it since everybody is not going to see this until perhaps tomorrow. So we may have to extend that to the weekend, but we want to be able to get as many videos done as possible. So we want to get them certainly so that we can start by Monday of next week. So anyway, tonight we're going to talk about skin types, and we're going to talk about skin conditions because as beauty and skin and image and color influencers, once we've done the fashion piece and the color and the imaging piece, we have to get down to what the skin is looking like and making sure that we are engaging our clients to be able to care for their skin and look their absolute best. I think both of you would agree that the way to build the business is to have a repeat client. So once you do their colors, they don't really need to come back to you for a long time. Okay. Once you do their style, they can figure out once you've told them about that. But what's the one thing that will keep the client coming back over and over again? And it's their skincare and their cosmetics. But tonight we're going to be talking about skin care, because we really believe this is the one category that is universal. You will hear women say that I don't wear makeup, but everybody is cleansing their skin. They're doing something in their mind to be able to care for their skin. So we want to make sure that we are equipped and ready to be able to have that conversation. So who can tell me how many skin types there are?
At least 4.
At least 4? That sounds a little tentative.
Well, it's dry, oily, sensitive, combination, and
Mature skin.
mature. Yeah.
Okay, so the reality of it is, and this is not unusual, because what you've done is you've mixed skin types with skin conditions, and there is a difference.
Okay.
So there are indeed 4 skin types, and there's a normal skin,
Right.
it's combination, there's oily and dry. And we'll talk about skin conditions, in just a little bit later. But there are 4 types of skin, and everybody, I don't care whether it's male or female, it doesn't matter what their ethnicity is, everybody is going to fall into one of these categories, okay? And, what you'll find, a lot of cosmetic companies, including us, we now group, we may say normal to oily, normal to dry, and that basically is encompassing normal, combination, and whatever that end skin type is. So normal to dry, kind of encompasses normal, combination, dry. Normal to oily encompasses normal, combination, and oily. But it's good for us to be able to really identify each one of the categories so that you are able to effectively guide your clients into it. So the next slide really just gives you a brief description or the characteristics of each skin type. And the reality of it is normal is probably the smallest population of skin types that you're going to come in contact with, because normal skin is really picture perfect. And you generally will find when you do run across somebody that has normal skin, it generally is generational. The mother had great skin, the grandmother, so it really does flow through the genes. But it's a very rare skin type. But when you come in contact with that type of skin, they generally are very balanced. They don't have any problems. They've got a perfect balance. They are, they got just the right moisture or hydration. There's no pimples. Generally, their skin is going to be almost poreless and smooth. And that skin type is generally the one that is most difficult to be able to get them to, get into, because they will, they believe that nature is on their side, but that skin type does exist, and they are a force to be reckoned with, although it's the smallest percentage of the audience that you'll be dealing with. By far, the most common and the biggest audience is going to be combination. And that is the individual that, of course, has characteristics of both oily, normal, and dry zones. And the skin will tend to have either normal cheeks and an oily T-zone, or dry cheeks and a normal T-zone. So you almost will have to, there will always be some exceptions to the rule, but anytime the bottom line is with combination, if you've got more than one skin type, more than one of these skin types on one face, you have to treat them as combination, because you've got to deal with both skin types when you are suggesting and recommending a regime for them. Oily skin. Oily skin is shiny. The skin tends to be thicker. It's firm in appearance. The pores are going to be more enlarged, so you're going to be able to see almost like little pinholes in different parts of the face where there's oiliness, okay? Whether it's on the nose or whether it's in the cheek or the forehead or the chin, you're going to see open pores. And that's really the telltale sign to really draw that line of demarcation between your oily skin and your dry skin, because the oily skin is going to have visible pores for you to be able to see, and dry skin is going to have no pores. Almost, you won't be able to see it. That's why drier skin always looks smoother, because it's poreless, okay? And then, of course, dry skin suffers from lack of moisture, tends to feel tight, and is characterized more by fine lines and wrinkles, and pores are almost invisible. So the great thing about dry skin is that you can add moisture. You can make dry skin look good, and you can make dry skin feel good. And the great thing about dry skin really is that their skin is, poreless. Okay, so that's going to by default make that skin look a lot smoother and clearer when you're looking at it. Any questions about these? Any surprises?
Well, right now, my skin is very, very dry.
Okay.
And it almost, looks not scaly, but you can see this skin just standing on top, and I have to really put a lot of moisture on my skin. My skin, I pretty much had, nice skin. My mother had perfect skin.
Mm-hmm.
She worked with her skin like a cat. Yeah, she was always doing something to it. But right now, my skin is extremely dry.
Okay. So the thing is, when one of the things that you said that almost is kind of a telltale sign, and so I'll ask you the question, Sylvia, are you exfoliating at least once a week?
Yes, I have to now.
Yes. Okay.
I exfoliate with the scrub and prime. And then also I started using the other scrub as well.
The papaya?
Yeah, just to see which one
it's going to work best for you. Yeah. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you are sloughing, and then you want to make sure that you are hydrating and giving the skin what it needs. It sounds like you need some vitamin C underneath what you're putting on your face.
It's like flaky now, especially of my eyebrows and right along the side of the nose. I can see flakes of skin, so I have to hydrate. I mean,
yeah. So and it's not unusual that you'll find customers like that. So you'll be able to. So the thing is, what you want to do, we want to make sure that you are able to solve your skin so that you can get it where you want it to be. So now questions. So in this virtual environment that we're in, there's a way you can analyze a skin, virtually or on a phone by just asking some key questions. And based on how they answer the question, you're going to have telltale signs that will help you to be able to, put the person into the right skin type. Because if you diagnose and assess the skin type wrong, then you are going to sell for the wrong product. Okay, and that's what we want to avoid at all costs. So these are just some of the questions that will help you to be able to determine the skin type. And do you break out? How frequent? So if you were, if you had to, if somebody answered, I would say for Sylvia, you rarely, probably never break out, right?
I don't have any lines.
No. Do you break out?
Yes. No, I don't break out.
Okay. All right. All right.
I have a question pertaining to breakout.
Yes.
I don't break out, but wearing this mask, I'm starting to get things over here. I'm starting to get some things because of the mask. Okay. And I don't even wear it that much, but I've noticed, I was like, what is this? And I know it's maskne. So any way to address that? I mean, I never had that before.
Yeah, so the mask, holds moisture, holds bacteria. We're breathing. I have had like not a blackhead. Okay, so and it's almost like a little whitehead. And you can tell that it's really it's being brought on really because of the moisture or the just the bacteria that is kind of underneath there. And the thing that we have to be careful with is wearing a mask repeatedly. And we have, let's say we have on foundation or powder, or you have on lip products or whatever, and you then put that back on. That's a formula for disaster, because that will also cause our skin to react negatively. So a breakout, so your breakout would be rarely, but it could be induced because of the mask. And I've heard a lot of people say that they are having challenges like around the area where the mask is. And what that simply means is that you got to make sure that when you take that mask off when you're home, that you are using a toner, something that's going to kill that bacteria, and cleansing, and make sure that you are using extra hydration, moisturizer around that area to protect the skin. And try to get, it may mean also that you want to get a mask that's not as tightly fitted here, but the main thing is we got to make sure that we're covering our nose, and of course the mouth is going to be, but if the skin can breathe underneath the mask by having space in between the mask and your skin, that's going to certainly aid and help reduce the likelihood that we would get that that breakout. But I had a little bit of it, but I've been able to keep it in control. And then I make sure that when I don't have to have the mask on, I take it off. So I only put it on when I know that I'm going to be in somebody else's space, and I try to get out of their space as soon as I can. So yes, Marie.
What I noticed was this, because for the longest time I wasn't wearing any makeup through this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been getting under here and a little bit here, but I think I noticed was I started wearing some makeup because, maybe I was meeting somebody,
Okay,
you had it
gotcha.
on. I think because of wearing makeup again, and I don't even wear that much makeup.
Yeah.
I don't really wear that much, but I think that was the thing, the makeup. And yes, I do change my masks,
Mm-hmm.
and I do have a pretty tight one on, the KN95. So I'm thinking, what do I have to do? Do I have to like hurry up and take the makeup off as soon as I get home or
That's
something?
right. That's right. You gotta get it cleaned off, and just make sure that you have protected the skin before you put that makeup on too.
Okay, because I noticed it's also lingering longer, these things under here, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, yeah. And then also as we get older, we lose hair where we don't want to have it, and we gain it in places that we don't, which is like our chin. And so sometimes you have to, I almost am tweezing now every other day, because the hair is just, you growing more rapidly than I'd like to say that it is, but it is, it's reality. So that could be, so you may want to check and make sure that you don't have any hair, that's popping out, because that's a environment for like a whitehead
Okay.
to form as well. Okay. But these are just the questions that you would ask. So do you break out? And of course, you can expect to hear the same kind of the conversation that we're having now about the mask. You're going to hear that too. Now, and what they'll, under normal circumstances, they wouldn't be breaking out. But now with the mask, and so the thing is, we just have to counsel people to make sure that they are tossing the disposable mask. And if they're wearing the masks that are, that they can wear repeatedly, they almost should be shampooing that mask or laundering it every single day, because the moisture, perspiration, the products, anything they may have on their skin, if that stays and lingers, you've got an environment where bacteria can form, which is automatically going to cause that skin to react. So do you break out? How frequent? Do you have blackheads? Where? How does your skin look and feel 1 to 2 hours after cleansing? Do you have facial lines? Does your foundation melt away during the day? So, and it may be you may even want to add to that, are you wearing them? How many hours, how much time are you behind a mask? Because people that are at home and working from home today may not be wearing a mask that much. But once they go out, it's I'm sure that they're doing it, but more and more, people are either not going out, or the ones that are going out are just, making sure that they're staying masked up. So, but these are questions that you would pose to your prospect, to a client that's coming back, that you haven't seen in a while, because you almost have to, because our skin does go through changes and transitions as we get older. And so, from 20s to 30s to 40s to 50s and on so forth and so on. So we have to do those little checkpoints and make sure that we are addressing their skin, just in case there is a shift or a change that's going on. Now, the next thing is now the skin conditions. How many skin conditions are there? Because they come up under umbrella, and then there's topics, or there's different indications underneath it. How many skin conditions do you think there are?
Rosacea, isn't that one?
That's a sub condition. It falls up under a major, one overriding.
Oh, okay. I'll just find it.
So the answer is that there are 5 skin conditions, and under each skin, under some of the skin conditions, you will have sub conditions that you have to deal with it separately. Of course, certainly sensitive. So acne, that's pretty cut and dry. Okay, a person that's acne prone is going to be struggling with breakouts, and generally they're going to be more oily. And if they are dry and having breakouts, that's because that they are over drying the skin, and the skin is producing more oils trying to keep up with the way that they're drying the skin out. Uneven is a skin condition that people will want you to help them treat. Sensitive is probably the biggest category, because there's so many different sub-skin conditions that fall up under sensitive. Rosacea, eczema, psoriasis, vitiligo, different things that are that may be plaguing the client, but you still got to treat it as sensitive skin, because they're dealing with something that is that you cannot ignore, and you have to address it before you recommend products for their skin. And then, of course, aging, there's sub conditions under there. Under aging, you can find fine lines, you can find wrinkles, you can find sagging skin, you can find loss of clarity, you can find crow's feet, you can so there's all kinds of you can even under aging skin, you can even deal with hyperpigmentation or sunspots or age spots, as they call them. So aging and sensitive are the 2 skin conditions that have many other sub-conditions that you have to address. And generally, the person that you come in contact that is in that sensitive category is going to quickly share with you the challenges that she has. Dehydrated is a skin condition, because you can be oily and dehydrated. So dehydrated skin just means that skin is lacking water. Okay, it's not about adding moisture, and that's what I'm wondering, Sylvia, if your skin is dehydrated based on some of the things that you've shared. But dehydrated skin generally is going to look stressed. It almost looks like the skin is trying to tell you to give me some water. I'm thirsty. It's not about just, because you can put a moisturizer on the skin and it still you may not be treating the underlying dehydrated skin. So these are the 5 skin condition categories that you will need to be aware of, and just know that sensitive and aging have those sub conditions that you have to deal with them individually, because a person under aging, you also, a person may tell you puffy eyes, or, or fine lines around their eyes. So it doesn't always have to be just the face. It could be just under their eyes. It could be their forehead that they're trying to treat, because they've got expression lines that would also fall up under aging as well. So those are the things that you want to be on the lookout for, and on the, listening for, because those are going to be, once the person says to you, I'm sensitive, okay, sometimes they'll tell you they're sensitive right out. Other times they'll tell you, I've got rosacea, I've got eczema, I've got psoriasis, I'm allergic to vitamin C, I'm allergic to nuts. So all those things are going to fall up under sensitivity. And if the client knows what she's sensitive to, that's great, because then you can really fine tune her skin regime. But if she doesn't, and she just simply tells you she's sensitive, proceed with caution. And that would be the profile of client that you would certainly want to sample before you sell her a lot of product, so that you can make sure that when you do the transaction with her, that it's not a return, a circle back to you.
I have a question. We just found out that my granddaughter, 16, has eczema.
Mm-hmm.
And she has the little splotches of light and dark and little circles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was going to recommend, I think she had been taking it, the Enlighten, but I don't know whether that's gonna, that's too strong or whatever. And but she had been taking it off and on, what a teenager would do.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, make sure, now that the doctor says she has that, I just wanted to make sure that I'm recommending the right products for her.
So the thing that whenever you have a skin condition that is being treated, or that the client is being counseled by a physician, it's really a wise thing to do to let that to let the doctor kind of guide you, because a lot of times, and believe me, if you get a dermatologist that is on your side, that endorses a product for clients that have different underlying skin conditions, you're going to have a friend for life, and you'll have a lot of clients getting in contact with you. But eczema is tricky, because that skin can react. It has its peaks and valleys, and when it gets into that irritation mode, you almost, you almost need to have the doctor prescribing something during those active times. So proceed with caution with that. I mean, less is better, for eczema. And, generally the skin is just screaming for moisture, but you have to make sure that you're not putting any active ingredients on the skin that are going to cause it to react and sting and burn. So I would run anything that you, particularly with her being young, I would have her take the ingredient deck or something to the physician, and that she's under the care, just to be safe.
Okay.
There's one or two things that would not likely cause a problem, but I would be cautious with the Enlighten, only because it's got some active ingredients in it. Okay. But when the skin is calm and you're just focusing in on evening out that skin, that's a whole nother conversation. But eczema goes into active mode, and that's the time when you least likely want to put anything that it's really not hasn't been vetted through the dermatologist.
Okay.
So when you're dealing with skin conditions and asking questions, the very first, before you touch or recommend anything, you got to ask questions. Once you determine what the skin type is, now you want to determine if they have skin conditions, because it's nothing worse than, and not so much. This is not as much of an issue today because we're not meeting with the clients face to face. But it's nothing worse than when we get to face where you got a client sitting in the chair and you put a product on her and she starts saying, oh, it's burning, it's burning, it's burning, because we failed to ask the question, do you have any allergies? Have you ever had a reaction to cosmetic or skincare products? Because most times when a person is really sensitive, you're not going to be the first time they've had sensitivity issues. It's you're going to be coming behind something, and while they may be anxious to be able to get coverage, they may be anxious to get a solution, it's better to qualify the person as being eligible for you to put the products on before you do anything. So you always ask if they have any allergies to anything. I don't care what it is. Some people will tell you that they have allergies to parabens. So you got to be looking for paraben-free products. They will tell you that they're allergic to nuts. You can't use an exfoliator, the honey and almond scrub or the exfoliating facial scrub in Floyd Roberts. So there's certain things that you have to qualify the customer before you sample, before you have her to apply any product, so that you don't have, because it's better to keep your reputation neutral as opposed to have them, try a product, only because we just haven't gone through the vetting process. So have you ever had a reaction to a cosmetic or skincare product? If they say no, you're pretty safe, okay? But if they say, yeah, I tried a product, an astringent last week. Okay, what was it? It was Proactive, or it was Neutrogena this, or so there's certain indicators from that conversation that will tell you to proceed with caution and change. She may tell you that she's oily, but then once she tells you that she's had a reaction to a product that that has the same active ingredient in it that we have, why would you go and introduce that to her? And know that she's going to end up potentially having a product. So, and once as you continue to grow and learn the products and build your business, you're going to become familiar with your competition to the point where you'll be able to, kind of answer questions without having to go and do a whole lot of research. Okay. What are they using on their skin now? Are they using any medication on their skin? Are they taking any medication that is having any kind of reaction to the skin? And then finally, once you've, gotten down past the, qualifying that person as a person that you can introduce your products to, then the best question and the question that will lead you in the direction to get her into a regime or into products that you pretty much are going to be guaranteed that she's going to buy from you and support your business, is if you're able to find out what it is that she would like to change or correct about her skin, and then you provide the solution to that. Okay. So no matter what it is, whether they're saying, I don't like the lines that are forming around my eyes. I don't like these, wrinkles that I'm starting to get. I don't like the puffiness. I don't like, my skin is not looking as clear and bright as it used to. It's looking dull, or I'm flaking. Whatever it is that she's telling you, if you can guide her into a solution to that, you've got a customer. Okay. So, but do not skip and you don't have to spend a lot of time, not as much time as we're spending here talking about it. But you have to take the time to ask the question so that you will know how to guide the client. Okay. So, yes.
I have a question. So one of the clients I did some work with recently, she's in mid-40s. And she said that she's taking oral medicine for acne. I didn't see any acne, and she's taking topical. So I quite didn't know what to do for skincare with that. Although I did give her a couple C caps to just try, because I was like, ooh, she's taking topical stuff already, right?
Yeah.
Plus or medication. What would you recommend me saying? You know what I'm saying? Because she probably had a regime there too.
Right. So that's what so you want to find out. Okay. So proceed with caution, because
Exactly.
once they're using something topically, you have to be careful that what you're doing is not interfering with that. So what is she using topically? Is it a cream that is like is it an antibiotic? Is it they've got these different creams that are designed to dry up the acne. You say you didn't see it. So the doctor may have her on a cream that's preventing that acne from coming out. So that would be a person where you find out, okay, so topically, that means that she's using some type of cream or lotion. So the best that you could do would be to find something, because again, you're going to have to treat her as sensitive, because she's on medication, she's ingesting medicine for her skin, and she's taking something topically. You may even, take the approach to hold off, go find you another customer, until you
Kind
can,
of what I did. I said, here's these vitamin C caps. Here's two. Why don't you ask your doctor if you can actually, you put them on your skin. I kind of was like,
yeah. So you want to be, yeah. And if she's struggling with acne, vitamin C, really vitamins, you can't go wrong. But again, you don't know whether the C and the E or the A in the retinol is going to counteract with what she's using. So
yeah.
that would be, so sampling her and having her to get clearance from her medical professional is the best thing that you can do with that.
So one of my mentors was also saying that the papaya brightener, she'll need an exfoliator no matter what. But I don't know. What do you think?
So you mean the person that has the acne?
The topical acne and the oral acne person, wouldn't they still need an exfoliator?
Well, what they're using may be exfoliating their skin too.
So
Because a
yeah,
lot of time when you're treating acne, the medication and the creams that the doctors will recommend is actually doing the sloughing naturally. That's why you'll see them sometimes peeling and things like that, because what they're doing is, it's almost like what dermabrasion does for somebody that has acne, is that they're getting that, they're removing almost a layer of the skin so that the pores won't be blocked, and they can get down to skin that's going to look better than what it did before they started with the process. So I would absolutely not put them in an exfoliator. Not on our watch. We shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky, so I kind of like laid low on it and just
Yeah,
gave her a
yeah,
couple C caps and
yeah.
yeah.
So that's the best. The C and the A, the retinol, would be, kind of where I would head with that. And again, getting the doctor to bless it, because once the doctor blesses it, you got a sale, you got a repeat client, because, but if you do it on your own and then there's a counteract, a reaction to it, then we almost get bad press.
There was a lot of
So,
redness around here on her, a lot of redness.
so once you say redness, that's it. So
Yeah.
matter of fact, that would also fall up under, that would be a sub condition up under sensitive, is, if you see redness as well, which that's what rosacea ends up delivering. But you can also have redness as a result to having some type of topical cream that's doing something to really do a fairly aggressive exfoliation.
Do we have
So,
any product that's good for rosacea?
well, with rosacea, you almost have to use, you can use hyaluronic acid, and then you almost have to just cover it. You got to conceal it, because rosacea is not anything that can be cured. It almost has to be just covered, and it's reactive to climate, it's reactive to emotions. I mean, there's a lot of things that trigger people with rosacea. So, and a lot of times people with rosacea are also under dermatological care. So the best thing for rosacea is really more to kind of cover it, conceal it, show them how to conceal it so that they're able to kind of get through the day without being embarrassed with the redness. But, the moment they blush, the redness starts to bleed through. So you have to treat rosacea very, in a sensitive kind of way as well. So, so tonight, I mean, we've got so many products, but one of the things that, you almost need to have in your pocket and have it almost committed to memory is for your basic skin types, what is the best regime, okay? And you also then, if we are if we have an item, something that is back ordered, you have to already have in your pocket what you're going to use as a substitute for that, and not talk about the item that is on back order, because all you do then is set the customer up to want the thing that you don't have. But there's always going to be workarounds, with the in terms of the skincare. But normal skin, you can pretty much you can recommend, kind of what you want, and normal skin, you almost can put them in regimes based on the season. So, because normal skin is very balanced, and when it's cold, their skin will appreciate more hydration, so you can put them more in a, kind of in a normal to dry regime. And during the summer, their skin, again, is going to be kind of balanced and in that perfect mode. You can kind of put them in something that could be used more for the combination skin, and treat them, as kind of as combination, because the normal skin is balanced. So they're going to have a good balance of oil versus dry. I mean, so they're not going to, the normal skin is real easy. It's just a matter of, when you talk to them and you've got them convinced to be able to purchase. And when I talk regime, I'm talking a cleanser, a toner, a moisturizer. If they're using makeup, a primer. If they are 35 or older, which would, and then they would use an exfoliator as well. And then if they're 35 or older, an eye treatment, and then any specialty treatment. So you basically, so a regime, could be, up to 6 products that you're introducing to the client, no matter what their skin type is, okay? And the thing that you want to do is, just, have those products already identified, so that you can, once you figure out their skin type, you can say, okay, this would be your recipe, okay, your regime to be able to use on a daily or weekly basis, because the based on the skin type, that's going to be the difference in terms of the frequency of the exfoliator, and then of course, you've got to take into consideration the skin conditions that may be underlying. Combination skin, you kind of, again, you can go seasonally, because combination skin is going to be more oily during the hotter months, unless they're in a warm climate, and during the winter time, they're going to be. So if you had to, how are you versed enough on products to be able to call out what specific products that you would use per brand? Anybody?
I'm sorry, ask that again. What was your question?
So what regime would be best for normal skin today? So if I had to think about Adrian Arpel, normal skin, and I'm thinking about not anything that we don't have in stock, because the worst thing you can do is start talking about something that we don't have, and that's what the person's going to want 3 of those, okay? So with normal skin on Adrian Arpel, I would say a good regime for her would be the microderm cleanser, the lemon lime freshener, the maybe the skin correction complex, vitamin C capsules, assuming that she's, 35. And then in terms of an exfoliator, she could do the honey and almond, or she could do the papaya, either one. And then I would put her in an eye cream. So that's a good regime, okay? And you could turn around and use that exact same regime for somebody that's combination, okay? And for Florey, you could use the fresh foaming cleanser, you could do the vitamin C toner, you could do the My Everything cream, because that's kind of the cream that we have right now until we get the Enlightened system back in. So it's okay that you have a regime and you recommend it for multiple, for multiple skin types. That's not an issue. The only thing that you have to be careful with is if either one of these skin types comes back and tells you that they have a skin condition that has to be treated separately, okay? Oily skin, the best regime under, again, with Adrian Appel, microderm cleanser, lemon lime freshener. I'd probably do maybe the alpha, advanced alpha elixir, because that would help with the sloughing off of dead skin and help with that. I would do the retinol at night. And then I would use the papaya brightening polish. I wouldn't put the oily skin into the honey and almond scrub because it's a little bit more rich with the honey. And then of course, dry, Asian Appel, the coconut cleanser, oxygenating toner, or the lemon lime, either one. And then you could do the vitamin C for day. You could do the skin correction cream, for the face. You could do the biocellular night for nighttime. You could do, so you could go different places with the complete fix. Could be something that could go in, any of these regimes as well, because that would be your serum. So the thing is to identify your regimes in advance so that you're not stumbling over it when you are having a consultation with your client. That's the best thing that you can do, okay? And then when you talk about sensitive and oily, okay? Anytime you're dealing with sensitive skin, I don't care what the skin type is, you basically are going to be looking for your products that are fragrance free, because sensitive skin is going to not respond favorably with fragrance. Fragrance that, and just because we say fragrance free doesn't mean that when you pick it up that you won't smell something, because there may be extracts or things, ingredients that are included in the product that are giving off its natural aroma, okay? And that's okay. But the thing that you want to do when you're dealing with sensitive skin, no matter what, is to make sure that you are looking for those products that are fragrance free. So here are the products that are fragrance free. And Adrian Appel, you've got the microderm cleanser, it's fragrance free. You've got the lemon lime freshener. You've got the C Source vitamin C capsules across the board. All the brands are for sensitive skin, okay, fragrance free. The retinol PM capsules are fragrance free and for sensitive skin. And then the advanced alpha ageless elixir, the complete fix, and of course One Step. So you got and then in Florey, you got the Ultimate C cleanser that could be used for sensitive skin. You've got the also the My Everything cream. You've got the Enlightened Skin Tone Prep, the Super Light, and Ultimate C capsules, again in Floyd Roberts. So as you think about the products, all the products that are fragrance free, again, just write out your regime, have it in your phone, so that all you got to do is just, you can text it to the client, or you can read it off to her and let her know which products you're recommending for her. And, when you start looking at uneven, once that becomes a part of this, one of the skin conditions, the Enlighten can be a great system to use. Vitamin C, of course, helps with, the fading and the evening of skin. So that can be done. And also the Alpha Ageless Advanced Elixir can also, because that has all of the beta and the alpha hydroxy acids in it. So the thing is, the best thing that we can do as consultants is to be prepared for anything. So it's better to have everything kind of mapped out in your mind, in your phone, in your file box, however you're going to be interfacing with people on your computer, so that when you have a conversation with the client, you are not finding yourself stumbling and trying to find at the time of the consultation what is best for the client. So put together your regime for sensitive and oily, for dehydrated and sensitive, for uneven and dry, for uneven and sensitive, for rosacea. I mean, so no matter what it is, have in your mind, you may not have a specific shade like for rosacea in terms of which concealer is going to be best, because that's going to be based on her skin tone and whether she's going to need the lighter shade or the deeper shade or the middle. And so the thing is to have all of this information already prepared in advance. Oily and acne prone, dehydrated and sensitive. So again, it doesn't matter what the combination of skin type and skin condition is, be prepared for it. Don't be caught by surprise, because everybody's going to fall into, because what we've reviewed today gives you enough information that you won't be caught off by surprise. Okay. And any questions tonight?
Is this information like the products that have that don't have fragrance and some of the ones that you just spoke of? Is this written out anywhere, or should I go back and review?
Yeah, so what I am, the next slide, like the resources, okay, for you to be able to find all of this, inside colorme.com, and then you can go to tools and client care, and we've updated all of the training manuals. What we've got to update tomorrow, because we realized that we've got to do it. We've got like a spa scriptives chart that you can download that will give you regimes based on the brand, Adrian Appel and Floyd Roberts, and based on the skin type ish. You can find that, and that's on inside. You can also, under tools and client care, we have a problems and solution chart that breaks everything down. We do have to, there's some updates that we need to do. I looked at that today. And so give us until tomorrow to make those updates, because we've got to pull off anything that has been discontinued off there. And then also just anything that is, if you see that the product has a dot under sensitive, you know that it's going to be fragrance free. That's basically going to be the criteria. Okay. And then of course, you can always, if there's a specific product that you can download and save on your computer, the whole product training manual by brand. We have one for Gail Heyman, we have one for Flory, we have one for Color Me Beautiful, and one for Adrian Appel. And you can print that out or download it and save it and refer back to that. We will always have on the training manual, in the training manual, we do kind of a edited, modified version. If you want the deeper discussion, more of a blowout of the ingredients and things like that, you'll need to go and still on insidecolorme.com under training and under training sheets, because on the product sheets we list a much broader assortment of the ingredients that are in the product, versus on the training manual we may just highlight one or two. okay, of the ingredients. And we give you the features and benefits, which really help you to be able to talk intelligently with the customer and get her excited about what the product does. So, but yeah, InsideColorMe.com is going to be your best resource. And under tools, client care, training manuals, and training sheets. And you'll be able to find it. We have each chapter broken down for you so that you don't, if you decided you don't want to print the, or save the whole manual, I would at least get the whole product manual. You may not want the whole consultant manual, which talks about skin types, skin conditions, prospecting, all that. That may be where you want to just deal with each chapter based on where your interest is at that particular time. So so that's it for tonight. I mean, and I thought that it made sense to deal with this because particularly for our new influencers and for those that have been, kind of out of the business, and even for the veterans, this is going to, you can always get enlightened about, more about a particular product, okay? And I think the best thing that we can do is really have our regimes organized by skin type, and then organized, and the products organized by the skin condition. And then that way you're not recommending, there's no possibility of you recommending a product to a person that has a particular skin condition that the product is not going to be suitable for them. Okay. So that's it, ladies.
Okay, so to see this again, I would go back. I would go back. Do you send another email?
So yeah, so every week. So this is recorded now. Right. So once we end this meeting, by tomorrow morning, we will have the recording will be available for us to download. And then what we do is then we take it and we insert it into an email, and we tell you, this is the, if you missed the training on March 2nd, here is a replay, and you're able to click on it. And then it's also uploaded on YouTube for you to be able to, so you'll be able to go through and see everything and hear everything that we talked about tonight. You can share it with your team members if they're, but they will get it as well if they open up their email.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, because I missed a couple of them, and I want to go back. And even this, I definitely want to go back and read it over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, but yeah, you'll be able to do that. And if you can't find one, just let me know, which topic you're looking for, and I can always go and pull it up and email it back to you. Okay. So that's it.
Okay. One of the things that I was, and I told Jill this as well, is I wanted to kind of go over the different undertones of the makeup, the foundations.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because they all seem to be so close, especially, for Floyd Roberts, the colors are so close that, I know, how can you tell the difference, especially if you are doing this virtual now,
yeah, so with the virtual,
one more warm or one more cool, or is this more brown,
yeah. So the foundations, even though they look close, they take on their own personality once it goes on skin. Right. And so the thing, generally, if I'm doing a virtual appointment, I make sure that I'm doing it during the day so they can be in natural light, so I can get an idea of what their natural skin tone is. And then I generally send them 2 to 3 shades, generally 3. Okay. And inevitably, they will find one. And the 3 may be very close together, but then there will be one that just kind of melts into their skin, that disappears into their skin and gives them the look that they're looking for.
Right. Because I know that they're separated in 3, the light, medium, and dark.
Yeah.
So with those 3, they're the ones that are the closest. So those would be the ones that you would send
that
them.
you would sample. Yeah, if once you have figured out that they're in the light, medium, or deep category, then now the deep category has the medium and the deep have, you know, 4 or 5, you know, different shades. So that category, you would have to break it down a little bit more. The light category is pretty tight, but the medium, you know, you've got, let's see, sand, sable, chestnut, russet. So you got really 4 in the, and maybe even we can pick up, yeah. So you got 4 in the medium, you got 4 in the light, and then the rest of them 6 in the deep. So, you know, in the medium and the deep, you're gonna have to, you know, you're gonna have to pick out the 3 best. I'm generally not gonna send out 4, you know, that many foundations. Because as you say, they have some similarity. And so you can get, you know, you can get close and get the customer analyzed really well.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, Miss Sylvia, it was good to see you. Let me see who else.
Thank
And
you.
Marie.
Next time I'll be prepared and do something in my face. I haven't been outside or anything, just in the house, you know.
I understand. Valencia
Yeah.
Keeve, I see she is on and listening, not on video. Hi, Valencia. Okay, well, Sylvia, it was good to see you. Congratulations to your daughter. She's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And but you know, celebrate women this month. Every month, do a post or something that celebrates women, you know, whether it's yourself or whether it's your daughter or some other family member that you want to honor.
Okay, wonderful. And we
Okay.
Stuff in by Friday.
Well, I think because I would say if you can send it in by, maybe we'll say that we have it by Monday, because people are not going to see this until tomorrow. So I don't think that they'll be able to get it in by Friday. So we'll say by Monday.
Okay.
Just have your email, and then we'll schedule your video so that we can record it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good
Okay. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.